Welcome back. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are on the globe. Thank you for joining us for the 100th video on the Skeptical Partisan. When I originally founded this website or this YouTube channel, I kind of styled myself a political commentator. I grew up listening to Michael Savage with my mom. And when I moved to Los Angeles from Texas, my mother, when I moved, would call me every day at exactly 6:30. And it would be right after I had finished listening to Michael Savage. And she would ask me, "Did you hear what he said today? What do you think?" I miss those conversations. My mom was a pretty wonderful woman. And, when you lose a parent, especially a parent that shows you so much love, that's probably one of the greatest stumbling blocks I had ever had in my faith. I remember the day she went in the hospital, and I was on a boat at a funeral with my Aunt Cynthia. And my Uncle Joe called me, and I answered on my cell phone, and he said, "Did you hear about your mother?" I said, "Yeah, I heard, but what can I do? I have to get to work on Monday." And my uncle, very wise man of the world, told me, "No, you should go home. You should take some time off, and you should go see your mom." And thank God he did. When she was starting to turn for the worst, I still held on. And I said, "Mom, I'm going to read you a story. I'm going to read you about a certain king. His name's Hezekiah. And in the beginning, like the doctors have told you, Mom, they said, prepare your house. The prophet Isaiah said, prepare your house for you're about to die." In the same way, the outlook for my mom was not good from what the doctors were saying. Everything that they were doing was kind of a last ditch effort to save her. I remember telling her that night, "Tomorrow, Mom, when I come back tomorrow, I'm going to read you that." I went home, and I remember going, I still had a room in my parents' house that I had not been in for about 3 or 4 years. And I just remember kind of like cleaning it and going through it and looking at all the stuff that I'd left there. And I remember just breaking down and praying and crying and saying, "Lord, please don't take her. Don't take her." It only takes a little bit of hindsight to see that those painful things that the Lord doesn't grant you are meant to further refine you. The Lord didn't let my mom suffer. My mom passed away right before I could even read her that passage about Hezekiah and the healing and the extra 15 years he got. And I was angry. Oh, I was angry. I knew the Lord was real, but yet I didn't want anything to do with a God that made me feel so lonely, so embittered, and so sad. But yet the challenge of the Lord remained the same. Could I be the love of Christ that reflected in my mom as she showed me her love? Could I be that to someone else? And like the Jonah that I have been for most of my life, I ran from that. I fled as fast as I could. found the first ship back to Tarshish. And for me, Tarshish was a large hash pipe and bottles of scotch and gambling and cigarettes and all manner of wickedness, all to numb the pain and the loss that I had. And I ran as fast as I could from the Lord, but all the time knowing that He is real. He does love me and He has a purpose for me. You know, when my dad called me a few years later and said that he no longer wanted to live alone in the 4-bedroom family house that he had, it was like a godsend. And I jumped at it. I was like, Dad, please come to LA. We'll rent an apartment together. We'll have, it was an opportunity. My dad worked all my life, so I never really got to know him as well as I should have, because he was desperately trying to provide for his ungrateful son and his rather wonderful daughter. And let's be honest, my sister's pretty awesome. And as we lived together, I came to love my father in new ways. You know, my father had always been emotionally aloof. He'd always been kind of unapproachable in many ways. We had a very old man and young whippersnapper kind of relationship, but you know, now he's been with me since 2009. It's 11 years. Now he's my best friend. And I'm once again at my age faced with a very real possibility. You know, he's getting up there in years. Will I fly off the handle? Will I not be able to reflect the love that he showed me these years, like my mom has showed me those years? And one of the things my father told me was that every day when my mom would call me, he would listen to her talk to me. And she would be all happy and just excited to talk to me while on the phone. But my dad said as soon as she hung up, she started weeping because she knew I was high or I was drunk or just my mental state was not good. And she would pray for me for hours. Well, those prayers, God used them and He gave me a new heart. Jesus is always calling us to see the reflection of His love in others and to be that love to someone else. So for the 100th video anniversary of the Skeptical Partisan, if you have a mother, if you have a father, if you have any siblings, I'm not telling you should do this, especially if you have abusive relationships. But today might be a good day to just tell them you love them while you have a chance. And for those of you who don't have biological fathers or mothers or brothers or any family, how about that friend that made all the difference in those times that you needed one? And for those who have no friends, because I have met a couple of you as well, this is a good day to bow your head and pray. Thank God that He's been there for you, that He's guided you through the dangerous torrents that you have gotten yourself in. The love of God is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. It binds us together in such a beautiful way because His love thought it not important to be above us, but to serve us. And I want you to know that Whether you like me or not, I love you as well. God bless you. And thank you for watching. And thank you for listening to this very unworthy man. Have a good night. Bye.